my channel. I'm back this week with another video for you guys, but today we're gonna be doing a review on the new full coverage companion foundation paddle by Tarte Cosmetics, which is pretty much a foundation brush, but it's made of silicone, not fibers. So if you want to see a review on this brand new brush, then go ahead and keep on watching. But before you keep on watching, don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. And yeah, let's get into this review because I am so excited to try this thing out. So first of all, it comes in this little box. I literally just got this in the mail today and I was like, okay, I need this ASAP. I need to try it right now. So I'm just gonna get it out of the box for you guys. It's like a really tiny brush. I already have their Tarte paddle brush with the fibers, so I'm just gonna get that out to show you guys how they compare. Opened it. And this is what this little guy looks like. Oh my god. By the way, if you have this brush already, it's pretty much the same handle. It just doesn't have that little print. It's just gold. But this is what it looks like. I'm gonna show you on up close. This is what the little silicone thingy looks like. This is like the Silly Sponge, but on a paddle, which is really nice. And it feels very squishy. Like, look at this. Like, ooh, that's squishy. It feels soft. You know, it feels like it might work because it feels so squishy and soft, and it's like, it's really cool. And I've never used a Silly Sponge, so I can't really compare those two, but it feels like it will work. Now, this is the full handle. As you can tell, it's not that big, but it is a pretty good size. I feel like it looks more maybe like an Artiste Oval 6, maybe an Oval 7, kind of around that size range if you do have an Artiste brush. And I'm gonna show you a comparison between these two. So this is the Tarte Paddle to Perfection foundation brush that has the fibers, and this is the silicone one. So as you can tell, the fibers on this brush make it look a little bigger than this one, but it's pretty much the same handle. That's how they look side by side. So this silicone sponge is actually really thin. I thought it was gonna be a little bit bigger. So now I'm just gonna read you guys some facts. I know I haven't done my face yet, so I look like a mess except for my eyes, but I do want to read this to you guys because it's kind of short. So this is $28, so it is the same price as their other brush, and it says that this is a flat brush with a silicone applicator, resulting in a zero product waste for full coverage that looks natural. It presses down foundation into skin for a finish that mimics your complexion at its healthiest. The latex-free silicone head won't absorb any product, so you can use less to achieve more coverage. So that is the huge thing about this, that if you have a normal foundation, it might last you longer if you use it with this. Plus, this one has an extra claim, which is that it makes your foundation look extra full coverage, which is really, really nice. So now I'm just gonna get to the application part of this video because that is what you guys really want to see, and I'm gonna be using the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau Natural Perfection Foundation in shade 03N. This is my favorite foundation of all time. I cannot mess this up. It blends well with the Tarte paddle brush. It blends well with the Real Technique sponge, with the Beauty Blender, with the Sigma F80, with the Morphe M439. This blends with everything. You can even blend this with your hands. Like, this is the easiest foundation to blend in the world. So I feel like if this doesn't blend this foundation, this cannot blend anything. So that is why I'm using this foundation, because that is my ultimate favorite of all time. But first, I'm gonna prime my skin using Dr. Brandt Pores No More. I've literally used all my foundations with this primer as well as all my brushes, so this won't affect the blendability of the brush either. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shake my foundation. So now I'm just gonna put one pump right on the brush, and now with that pump on the brush, I'm just gonna... Ooh. I've never used anything that's like silicone to blend my foundation. Okay, this feels weird. I'm just applying it. First impressions. I like how one pump literally covered this whole thing. That usually never happens. I have to use two pumps. But one thing I'm not liking is that the product is literally sitting on top of my skin. And this never happens when I blend this with a beauty blender or with a fiber brush. It usually just blends into the skin. I feel like with this paddle, it's literally just mixing around the product and it's not blending it into my skin. I'm just gonna grab some product and put it on the other side, see if that's the problem. I literally just put one pump. It wasn't even that much. What I'm doing, because I feel like this is literally not blending my foundation, it's just mirroring it onto my skin. I'm just kind of grabbing it and putting it on the other side of my face. Dragging it down the neck, of course. Okay, so now that the foundation is starting to dry down a little bit more, it's getting a little bit easier to use. Okay, that just rubbed off. I feel like it looks so streaky. I'm just gonna pat it and see. First of all, this says that this is like the most full coverage brush ever. This is not full coverage. Like, compared to this side of my face that barely has any foundation, this is not full coverage. Like, usually this foundation gives me more coverage than this. Usually this foundation blends like a dream. And with this thing, it's looking streaky. It's looking cakey, it's looking weird, I don't know. Plus, I feel like this is not really making the product sink into my skin. It's leaving it on top and just rubbing it, and I don't like that. I mean, there is one good thing about this product, and that is that I literally just used one pump, and I was able to cover pretty much almost half of my face, which is really, really nice. That means that I can use less product with this. So for the other half of my face, I literally just put half a pump. I did not put a whole pump, because I feel like most of my face is covered by now, but I'm just gonna dot it in the places where I need the coverage since this doesn't suck up the foundation. And then I'm just gonna try this again. So swiping, patting. You know, I just like when makeup sinks into the skin and looks just smooth and it looks like it's actually your skin. And one of the claims that this had was that it was supposed to look like your complexion, but I feel like usually this foundation looks so much better when I blend it with a beauty blender or with their other brush, like their paddle fiber brush. It looks amazing, but with this, it's looking streaky. Like, what is this? So I'm just gonna pat it because I find that patting it makes it look better.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, so after patting it, it definitely looks much, much better. So definitely swipe it first and then pat it. Yeah, I'm gonna do some concealer. And I'm also gonna blend it with this brush. But I'm gonna apply less concealer, of course, because this is a silicone brush, which means that it doesn't suck up product. And I'm gonna blend it with this and see what happens. Yeah, a little bit concealer goes a very long way, especially with Tarte Shape Tape. And this is shade light neutral. Oh my god, this looks so bad. Gonna pat it. Oh no. No, 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 no. That looks horrible. This is so bad. You know, definitely don't use this for concealer. This is just for foundation because it's making my concealer look a mess. You know, I can't do it. I'm gonna go in with my Sigma F80 and I'm gonna blend my concealer with this because I cannot do my concealer with this brush. Like, literally, I patted my concealer right here and it like sank into my pores in the most weird way that it's never done before. And you saw, like, I applied a pore minimizing primer and that looked horrible. Like, you know, I cannot blend my concealer with that. And it was so streaky because this is a very full coverage concealer. I can blend anything with the Sigma F80. And you know, I tried doing my concealer. I tried with this, but I have places to go. And this looked like a mess. Like, look at this. It's like, it picks it up and then it puts it somewhere else and then it doesn't blend it and then it doesn't let it sink into the skin. I cannot go out looking like that. You know, I'm never like this dramatic about like a bad review. Like, usually I'm more passive about it and I'm like, okay, I don't like it. I just couldn't use it on my under eye. I do have to say, as pretty much you guys can already tell, I am not a big fan of this. First of all, I do like the fact that you use way less product. I literally did my whole face of foundation with a pump and a half of foundation when I usually use 2 to 3 pumps. You know, I'm just gonna finish off my makeup and then I'll be back to kind of gather up my final thoughts because I do want to make up my mind before talking too quickly to you guys. So I'm gonna finish my makeup and I'll be back to talk to you guys more in depth about what I think about this brush. Okay guys, so I have my makeup completely done right now and I'm gonna move on to my final thoughts on this brush right here. So I'm gonna start off with the good things about this brush. The best thing about this brush is that you don't waste any product. You put a pump and a half in the brush. That is exactly what you will need to cover your face. So you'll be using less product, which means that you'll be saving money and product on that as well, which is really, really nice. Also, we pretty much kind of got the job done with the foundation. This claims to be a foundation brush, not for concealer, so I'm not expecting it to perform for concealer, but for foundation, it did blend my foundation. I mean, did it blend it the fastest, the best way, the less streaky way? No. So also another plus about this is that I really like the handle. I like how it's really easy to use. It's just the same handle as their other Tarte Paddle to Perfection brush. However, I'm gonna move on to the downsides of this brush. First of all, it is super streaky. When you first apply the product and you try to blend it in, it just massages the product on top of your skin. It doesn't let it sink in, it doesn't mix it into your skin, it doesn't make it look seamless, which is what I look for, and that is why I go for a beauty blender, or even their own Tarte paddle brush is amazing for that. But this didn't do that. It kind of kept mixing it in, and then I kept looking at my skin and it was super streaky, and then I have to go back in, and then at the end I decided to pat it, and that helped a lot. But at the beginning, patting was not even an option. So, you know, the foundation, it did blend it like down the neck. It is kind of streaky because I didn't really finesse it in my neck. So it is kind of streaky on the neck right now. I have to say, this is a pass for me. However, if you like the Silly Sponge, you will probably really like this, especially because now you don't have to like grab it with your hands and pat it. You have like a paddle, so it's easier to work with. But I mean, if you're used to using beauty blenders and Artiste brushes and Sigma brushes, or even the Morphe M439, I don't think you will really like this, because the way this applies makeup is unlike any brush or sponge, and it takes so long to blend, which I didn't like. Usually my Guerlain foundation that I used blends in like 30 seconds with a beauty blender. Like with a beauty blender, it's like bam, 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 done. With this, it was like swiping, circles, patting. It took me like 30 minutes to do. And I have to say, this is $28, so this is not cheap either. I know the Silly Sponge is a little more inexpensive than this, but this is not cheap. Like this, $28, like almost $30. I would suggest, if you're gonna buy a Tarte brush for the same price, go for their Tarte Paddle to Perfection foundation brush. So you guys, I'm pretty much gonna stop rambling about this brush because there isn't anything else that I really want to say about it besides the fact that it is not very full coverage, it's streaky, it takes forever, and one good thing it has, or two good things, is just the handle itself is really nice, the size is nice, and it doesn't soak up any of your product, so that is really nice. Besides that, I don't see anything positive. So yeah guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel before you leave. If there's anything else you would like me to review, definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah guys, what is your favorite foundation brush? Definitely let me know in the comments. I love talking to you guys in the comments, so definitely comment down below. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.